But here's the paradox. Why do so many of us in our late 20s, 30s, even early 40s keep saying, "I'll be happy when we finally buy the house, when the debt is gone, when the job pays more"? Isn't it strange that the more we chase tomorrow, the more today slips through our hands? Meet Ethan, 33. By day, he's grinding through endless Zoom calls at a tech job. By night, he scrolls through Instagram, comparing his stalled dreams with everyone else's highlight reels. He tells himself happiness will come after the promotion, after he figures it all out. But deep down, he feels the quiet ache of a life postponed. Ethan is 33, living in Chicago. From the outside, his life looks stable. A steady tech job, a small apartment near the lake, a paycheck that arrives on time. To friends and family, he looks reliable, hardworking, maybe even successful. But inside, he feels hollow. His days repeat like clockwork alarm. At 6:30, commute, endless emails, meetings that drag past sunset, scrolling on his phone until midnight. The dream he once had of becoming a writer lies buried under the weight of later. He keeps telling himself happiness will come eventually, after the debt is gone, after the promotion, after life finally settles. But later never seems to arrive. Here's the first uncomfortable truth. The more we sacrifice today for tomorrow, the less tomorrow has to give. Happiness postponed is happiness erased. Every morning, Ethan boards the crowded train, earbuds in, watching faces drained of energy. Around him are people in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, teachers, lawyers, nurses, tech workers, all moving fast but looking tired. The city hums with ambition, but also with exhaustion. Ethan wonders, is this what building a future is supposed to feel like? One Thursday night, Ethan promises to leave work early for his sister's birthday. He has already missed the last 2 family gatherings. Tonight, he swears, will be different, but deadlines stretch, calls run over, and by the time he rushes across town, the party is over, the cake is eaten, the candles are melted, his niece is asleep. His sister smiles politely, but disappointment hangs heavy in the air. Driving home, Ethan repeats the same excuse. Once things calm down, I'll have more time. But deep down, he knows the truth. Life rarely calms down. You do. Every day postponed is a piece of life unlived. That night, the Jim Rohn quote drifts back into his mind. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. He whispers to himself, how can I design happiness when I barely have energy left at the end of the day? And here's the contradiction. It's not time you lack, it's permission. It's not money you need, it's clarity. It's not the future that creates happiness. It's the present, messy and imperfect, chosen deliberately. Weeks pass. Stress mounts. Ethan ignores headaches, chest tightness, sleepless nights, until a routine checkup stops him cold. The doctor frowns at his chart. Your blood pressure is too high. You're burning out. If you don't slow down now, you may not get the chance later. Ethan chuckles nervously. It's just a busy season. Once things settle, I'll focus on my health. But the doctor doesn't laugh, and the words echo all the way home. You may not get the chance later. Here's an irony of life. We think waiting is safe, but waiting is the riskiest strategy of all. The future is never guaranteed. If you keep postponing happiness, life may run out before it delivers. Walking through the freezing Chicago night, Ethan feels a chill deeper than the wind. He remembers his father, who worked long hours, saving joy for retirement, only to face illness before he could enjoy it. A terrifying thought crosses his mind. Am I repeating the same mistake? That evening, searching for distraction, Ethan stumbles upon an old college journal. Back then, he dreamed of being a writer. He opens it, the smell of paper and dust carrying him back to nights when ideas poured freely. He flips through half-finished stories, scribbled dreams, forgotten fragments of who he once was. A quiet grief fills his chest. Almost without thinking, he picks up a pen. He writes one page, just one, not perfect, not polished, but present. And in that moment, he feels something rare, a spark of joy, not in the future, but in the now. It seems contradictory, but one small act of creation today can feel more alive than one grand achievement tomorrow. From that night on, Ethan begins to experiment with small designs for happiness. He says no to one unnecessary meeting. He says yes to dinner with his sister. He writes a single page before bed. These fragments don't erase his debt or fix his job, but something has shifted. For the first time, Ethan is not waiting, he is living. Yet comparison still creeps in. On Instagram, he sees friends buying houses, traveling abroad, launching startups. He feels behind. The American script whispers, "You're not enough. You should be further by now." But here's the hidden truth. The more you compare, the less you experience. Social media promises connection, but often delivers despair. Ethan realizes he isn't jealous of their possessions, he's jealous of their presence. They look alive while he feels stuck, but envy becomes a teacher. What he really wants isn't their lifestyle, but their aliveness. And aliveness can be designed today. So, he experiments again. He takes a walk without his phone. He calls his mother instead of scrolling. He meets a friend for coffee and listens fully. At first, it feels uncomfortable, even unproductive. But slowly, he realizes this is the most productive thing of all, because presence is production for the soul. And just as he begins to find rhythm in these small designs, the real test arrives. One winter morning, Ethan's boss calls him into the office. The room is bright with fluorescent lights, walls lined with achievement plaques, and the faint hum of a heater battling the Chicago cold. His boss smiles, almost rehearsed, and says the words Ethan thought he always wanted to hear. "Congratulations. We're offering you a promotion. Bigger title, bigger salary, more responsibility. This is your shot." On paper, it is everything Ethan has been working toward. Validation, recognition, the American dream in its most polished form. The kind of news that makes parents proud and LinkedIn posts go viral. A new title that signals progress. A paycheck that signals success. A milestone that says, "You are moving forward." But as he sits there, listening, something feels off. His boss continues, talking about leadership opportunities, larger projects, longer hours, more travel. Words like commitment and sacrifice echo in the room. Ethan nods politely, but inside his chest is tight. He imagines the future this promotion offers. He sees a bigger paycheck, yes, but he also sees more late nights in the office, glowing screens replacing family dinners. He sees more missed birthdays, more empty promises to his niece, more apologies to his sister. He sees journals stacked in the corner, collecting dust. He sees himself climbing higher on a ladder, but one that's leaning against the wrong wall. And here lies a twist of life. Sometimes, what looks like success is actually failure in disguise. That evening, Ethan leaves the office with the promotion letter folded in his bag. He doesn't tell anyone yet. He walks slowly through the city streets, snow crunching under his shoes, the air sharp in his lungs. The weight of the offer feels heavier than the winter coat on his shoulders. He could accept and instantly look more accomplished, but inside, he wonders, at what cost? He makes his way to Lake Michigan. The skyline glows behind him, skyscrapers piercing the night sky. The wind bites at his face, waves crash against the frozen shore. Ethan stands there, watching the endless water, and for the first time in years, he allows himself to ask dangerous questions. What's the value of a bigger paycheck if it buys less time? What's the worth of prestige if it empties my life of joy? What's the point of a title if it steals my presence from the people I love? And in the cold silence, Jim Rohn's words echo in his mind. Happiness is something you design for the present. It hits him with force like a truth he has always known, but never admitted. Accepting this promotion would mean rejecting himself. Saying yes to the offer would mean saying no to life. That night, he can't sleep. He lies awake, staring at the ceiling, running numbers in his head. More money would mean faster debt repayment, maybe even a down payment for a condo. It would impress his friends, give him status, reassure his family. But deep down, he knows, no amount of money can buy back missed time. No status can erase regret. He thinks of his father again, decades of hard work, waiting for retirement to finally enjoy life, only to be betrayed by illness before he could. Ethan realizes he is on the same track, and the scariest part? Everyone around him applauds this track as success. The next day, he walks into the office, the promotion letter still unsigned. His boss greets him eagerly, ready to celebrate. But Ethan takes a breath, steadying himself, and says words few people dare to speak in a corporate setting. I appreciate the offer, truly, but I'm going to decline. The room goes silent. His boss looks shocked. Decline? Ethan, this is a major opportunity. People wait years for this. I know, Ethan replies, voice calm but firm. But I need to choose differently. I need to choose time, health, and presence over a title. And he can see the disbelief in his boss's eyes, the kind of look that says, you'll regret this. But Ethan already knows the deeper truth. Sometimes the bravest success looks like failure from the outside. He doesn't walk away from ambition. He redefines it. Success isn't climbing endlessly, it's feeling alive while climbing. With extra time reclaimed, Ethan begins to write again. Not for fame, not for an audience, but for himself. His words aren't published, but they are his. He journals his reflections, sketches stories that have lived inside him for years. The act itself is enough. Creation becomes medicine. He reconnects with his family. He shows up at birthdays, stays long enough to help clean the dishes, plays with his niece until she falls asleep on his shoulder. These moments, once sacrificed to deadlines, now become treasures. He focuses on his health. Walks by the lake that once felt heavy with despair now feel like breathing spaces. He cooks instead of ordering takeout, laughs with his sister over coffee, starts sleeping without the weight of anxiety crushing his chest. His life isn't perfect. The debt still exists. His job is still demanding. But the difference is profound. He no longer waits. He no longer bargains with time. He understands the irony of it all. Happiness isn't the result of a perfect future. It is the foundation of a meaningful present. And here's the contradiction that most of us resist. The more you design joy in the present, the stronger your future becomes. Because a life postponed is a life half-lived. But a life designed today compounds into meaning tomorrow. Ethan's story is not extraordinary, and that's what makes it powerful. It mirrors the lives of millions of Americans between 25 and 45. Professionals who tell themselves, I'll be happy once the loans are paid, once I buy the house, once the kids grow older, once life calms down. But life rarely calms down. Someday is a moving target, and someday is the most dangerous word in the English language. The insight is simple, yet radical. The only way to secure a joyful future is to design joy in the present. Happiness isn't a retirement plan. It isn't a bonus check. It isn't waiting at the finish line. It is something we practice in fragments of now one page written, one meal shared, one walk without a phone, one conversation fully heard. Ethan now sees his life differently. The apartment he once saw as not enough feels like a place of gratitude. The job he once despised becomes simply a tool important, but not his identity. His debt remains, but no longer defines him, because what defines him now is presence, not postponement. And that is the hidden truth most of us overlook. The quality of life is not measured by the scale of our future dreams, but by the depth of our present choices. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I'll be happy when," pause. Ask yourself instead, what can I design today, however small, that makes life meaningful now? We've seen through Ethan's story that postponing happiness is one of the most dangerous illusions we carry. Jim Rohn's words cut to the heart of it. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. For those of us between 25 and 45, the temptation is strong to believe joy will come later, after the promotion, after the student loans are gone, after the kids are older, after life settles down. But life rarely settles, and if we keep waiting for perfect conditions, we may never truly live. The insight is simple but powerful. Happiness is not a reward waiting at the finish line. It's a practice we design daily. In work, it means not trading every ounce of your time for a title that empties you. In family, it means choosing presence over perfection, showing up to birthdays, dinners, late-night talks. In relationships, it means valuing connection now, not postponing love until the timing feels right. And in our own personal growth, it means reclaiming the pieces of ourselves we've shelved for someday, whether that's writing, painting, traveling, or simply resting without guilt. The paradox is this: the more we design happiness in the present, the stronger and more resilient our future becomes. A life designed now compounds over time, while a life postponed slowly fades away. So, here's the question I'll leave you with. Are you still waiting for someday to give you permission to be happy, or will you start designing your present today?